Okay, what are my best hopes? Well, as you will hear in a bit, Pam and I have played together for a while. So I think my best hopes is to continue what's already working so well and to play with all of you. So I'm quite sure they will come true.
Yeah.
And
I,
you?
yeah, I suppose my best hopes are that the people that end up meeting each other in this 55 minutes together, that there will be friendships formed and admiration and inspiration. Yeah,
Okay. Shall we give it a start?
let's.
Okay. So we are warning you. And I mean, it's Pam's best hope, and it's the risk of joining today. You might just have the opportunity to meet a new friend and travel mate. And yeah, what Pam and I did years ago, but we'll share that. So we'll give you that chance as well.
Did we decide it was 2019?
2023. No, 2020, sorry.
2020.
Because this is when I started finding out that COVID had an advantage, that the SFBTA had online conferences that I could join. And I did. Yeah. And that was Pam. Yeah.
We both were drawn to a workshop that had the word play in it. And we ended up, I mean, that was quite a few years ago, and we've been playing together ever since. And I think for me, play is it's like um, it's like connective tissue. It's ligaments. It's my whole being is just thrives on play. I think if it would be just as harmful if I stopped playing as if I stopped eating or drinking.
And what's funny, without disclosing which workshop it was, that I was so excited that there was something about play because I just started to develop my own game. And I agree with Pam, for me, gamification, game-based learning is something important. And while I was listening, I kept thinking, it's interesting, but it's not playful. So at some point, I was brave enough to ask. And then we ended up in a breakout room, and Pam said, okay, so what should we do about it? And then we came up with all those silly ideas.
Yeah, yeah, right.
Okay, shall we switch? Sorry, I already did.
Yeah. So what we want you to do, and we'll demo it, but we're going to put you into breakout groups, and you'll have an opportunity to choose something that's just sitting right there at your desk, somewhere in your room, and and tell just a brief sentence, couple of sentences about why that item sparks joy, why it's playful. What is it? It gives you this burst of fun.
Mhm.
And then in those small groups, you can also talk about what your best hopes are from coming here today, from these 55 minutes together. So we'll share ours first. Gesa, you want to go first?
Well, for me, it's still, I was a week away on holiday, so my Easter decoration is still up. And this one is not so much, actually, it's a very cute Easter bunny hanging there, but my two daughters find it fantastic because it has little magnets, so it opens and closes. And I forbid them, I don't allow them to play with it, but I secretly do. So it just made. And you,
Okay.
Pam.
And for me, I there's so many things on my table that bring me joy. I think that I surround myself with it. But I have these two flags, and one says "Take pride in your health," and it just has layers and layers of meaning for me. And the other one is a Zimbabwean flag that I keep on my desk all the time. My daughter married a lovely Zimbabwean man and married into a wonderful family, and it's just and so everyone got a flag at the wedding. And when I look at it, I remember the joy of the wedding and the love and the caring and just the joy. I mean, that's the very best word for it. The joy that we experienced that day and how those friendships, relationships, family has grown. Um,
It's
yeah.
both family values.
What's that?
So it's for both of us, it's family values. It's playfulness and family. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to put you into breakout rooms and we'll give you um, 5, 6 minutes to do this, maybe a little more. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Enjoy. Okay, and there we are. Well, thank you for taking that time. And we just have such a lovely sized group. We're going to invite you to share your best hopes from this time. Insu would say people have good reasons for what they do, and you have a good reason for coming. And we'd love to hear a few voices telling about your good reasons.
Yeah.
I can start.
Yeah.
Please, please, Abby.
Yeah. It's already happened, and so it's just to meet lovely people. Already got to meet some lovely people in the breakout room. And yeah, my best hope, I think, was to kind of spark that creativity and that playfulness, and to be able to bring some ideas and ways to spark that in my colleagues here at work, who we all work with children of various ages, and to kind of keep that spark and love of solution focus in our sessions. So yeah.
Beautiful. Thank
Great,
you.
thank you.
Someone
Someone
else.
else. We
I was
even
just
talk and
saying,
stink.
I was just going to say it's lovely to meet Abby in the breakout room just now, and I've just joined in here now, so best hopes. Just very open-minded, really, to meet fellow like-minded professionals here and just learn from you all, really. Yeah, just it's lovely. Just coming here actually just sparks that playfulness. It's brought a smile to our faces, hasn't it? So yeah, I'm just open and excited to learn more.
Well, and I must admit, I'm impressed with both of you because I think Abby, you played hide and seek, and you were alone, then you got one person, then you got another, but you didn't give up, and you met lovely people.
I
And
know, it was brilliant.
Rushme, you also just jumped in and got started right away. Perfect. Someone else.
Yeah, I loved getting to talk with Kati and with Laura. Uh, and I've just been looking for more and more ways to introduce playfulness to sessions. I have a teenage client of mine who he was initially court mandated to see me, and then after he was done with the mandated sessions, he wanted to keep meeting with me, and there was a part of me that was like, why? Like, what are you getting out of this? It's hard for me to see any benefits that he's getting. And I asked him, I was like, what are you hoping for from these sessions? He's like, I don't know. I was like, well, why would you like to keep meeting with me? He goes, I like laughing. And it hadn't even occurred to me that in our weekly sessions, there was just so much laughter in it. And he just said, I like laughing. So being able to kind of hone in on that and introduce that to more of my sessions if it has an impact like that.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Pravali, I met you early. Do you have any thoughts you want to share?
First of all, it's nice to see you again. Yeah, I'm a senior year student in high school, so I mean, I don't have any experience in like a work field or organization like that. But what I do in our youth-led organization is we deal with a lot of like really stressful issues about, like the political or global happenings in the world, and like a really negative place like that. I think it'd be fun to learn about how you can bring playfulness or like a really fun element into that. And so far, like this community has been really welcoming as well. So I'm excited to be a part of this.
Nice.
Glad to have you.
I'm interested in kind of gamification and thinking about how to create structures that allow playful learning and allow learning to become something that that's enjoyable because that's reinforcing and just, and then what it would look like to bring that to other areas in which I have special interest, including solution-focused stuff, but not exclusively.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm hoping at some point if you guys have developed a game, I would love to hear about it because I'm curious.
Disclaimer, we have. Yeah.
But I think games are game and playing. The most important way we do it is equipment free. That was a phrase that Paul Z. Jackson used earlier today when I was in his session, and I was like, yeah, we need to have equipment free games because that's us. So yeah, that's fun too.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. For me, I think it's both. I love the having ideas and just doing it wherever, whenever. And on the other hand, I can relate to what you say that can give structure, like to have a game in place. It could just be a normal Uno, normal game, whatever, but giving a structure that's inviting can also help both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll talk more about
Yes.
that purposeful play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm looking as well for both. Having games to, to elicit additional ideas and to overcome limitations, beliefs that are restricting your space of solutions.
Mhm.
And on the other hand, the coachee side or client side in therapy to have more variability, more creativity, more freedom for deriving solutions, not taking things too serious and to be blocked by that attitude, but to be open to experiments, open to try new ideas, new thoughts that usually were thought not allowed or not possible. And by this then gain new experiences that would not be possible, without this playful mode.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Thank you all so much.
Mhm.
That's wonderful.
I'll switch back. And oops.
So we'll tell just a little bit of the story of how we met.
And yeah, I think we've done part of it, but while we talked when prepared this presentation, I was looking through my LinkedIn files, and there was still me, my enthusiastic first message to Pam in the middle of the night saying, "Oh, Pam, lovely meeting you." So yeah. And on the top right corner, I think I'm still very grateful to Pam because while developing my game, and you see her here on a clowning mission to Costa Rica. Costa Rica? Yeah.
Yeah.
And she was proofreading the questions in English. So I love this photo because it shows, so much like with it. And what's fun is my 12-year-old daughter, and back then she was 10, 9, whatever, when Pam first came over and stayed at my place. I'd never seen her in person, mind you. And afterwards she mentioned, "Oh, you said a colleague is coming, but now it's a friend." So I said, "Well, yeah, true." And actually, the two of them back then, she had only had a year of English in primary school. But Pam wouldn't be Pam if she wouldn't have connected with my daughter through play. Marie somehow managed to explain her to Pam a new game and then proudly said at the end, "You play good for beginner." So
And I think I said, well, you speak well for a beginner.
yes.
Her English was delightful, and
Yeah.
now that's been years. Yeah. So when I had a workshop in Amsterdam, I thought, okay, I'm going to just jump out there and I'm going to ask Gesa if she'd like to meet for coffee or tea. This was actually before the clowning picture. We had met in person at that point. But I said, may I buy you lunch or have a cup of coffee or a wine or something? And she said, oh, yes, yes, that would be wonderful. In fact, she invited me to stay at her home. And that's when Marie was, said, oh, a colleague is coming and being displaced from my bedroom. So a colleague, and we did indeed turn into friends. But this is our very first moment. I mean, my bag is sitting below my feet there. I have just come from the airport. I'm certainly sleep deprived, jet lagged from, I live in the US and it's a nonstop flight from my major city to Amsterdam. And so I'd been flying for the previous 10 hours and this was my welcome.
And Kati, there's a pattern there. I invited Kati for wine earlier, saying okay, but I do drink tea and coffee as well. Shall we skip this one due to time, Pam? Is that okay?
I'll just tell about it. So right across from where we were sitting, having our glass of wine, was this jungle gym, and that's me standing next to it. And I asked the children, may I come in? And they looked at me, and the parents looked at me, and they said, yes, of course. And so I climbed to the top. I mean, of course, I said it in English, but I gestured. We use our bodies to communicate, and by climbing to the top, and I don't know what I communicated, but it was fun for me.
You continue, Pam?
Yeah, yeah. So just a nutshell about what I do, I'm a solution-focused play therapist. So I use play with children all the time. My background is in child development. I'm a marriage and family therapist, and I work with people of all ages. So of course I work with families, and so the parents of the children, but I also work with adults. And I work with teens and I do some corporate training. I do a lot of conference presentations and train organizations. And I strongly believe, and research bears this out, that play is a method. It's a method to learn. So we play because it's fun. And I read someone wrote, play has a built-in repeat button because it's fun and our brains enjoy novelty, and play often involves novelty. It involves our senses. It involves our emotions. It involves a lot. So solution play is that taking a person's preferred future and playing it out. So whether it's a standardized game like Uno or some card game, or a game that's specifically created as a solution-focused game to teach, or using the things that are around us, we can build future hopes and create them as a part of our play, using play as a method. When I'm sitting in a conference or sitting in a classroom, if there's humor, if there's storytelling, I am going to be much more engaged. I remember in a college freshman history class, the professor dressed up in some of the historical characters, and it had a more lasting memory for me. I think when we're using play as a part of our professions, it's very, very important for it to be purposeful. While a meaningless warm-up game does get people chatting and involved with one another, so which gives it meaning. But I think having the game tied specifically to the the goals, the hopes of the workshop, of the training, of the class, and making it purposeful is important. This idea of serious play, and you see the Legos right there at the top in the middle, since I think about 2010, Lego serious play has been a thing. And it's used primarily in corporate trainings and with adults. And it makes me think back to also when I was in school early on, I had a friend who worked with all of the incoming engineering classes at the university. And she used a construction game. They had to build a structure that worked and could meet these three criteria. And that was their introduction to engineering. So all of these things it's serious play, yes. Purposeful play, yes. Do we want to push the repeat button? You betcha. So broaden your perspective into all of these different ways of play, storytelling and drama and a silly joke. I think of, I have a theater background, and in Shakespeare's greatest tragedies, there always had to be play and humor because people can't sustain tragedy without it. Gesa, how about you?
How about me? Well,
Yeah.
the main thing, sorry, Kathy, for the repetition, but I'm an OT. I work in mental health care and have all my career. And next to occupational therapy, I work as a job coach and I have my own company. And for the past decade, have delivered training in solution focus. And yeah, off came my COVID baby because for the past year, I developed a game which was, I think, about ready when I met Pam, not quite. It was in the tryout phase of the Mindsetters. And in the past 2 years, it's been on the market. It's been now, I think we have two versions. One is for training, for teaching SF. The one Abby has, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. And the other one is for therapy, coaching, whatever, corporate situations. And by now we're counting 176 games in 27 countries. And just since last year, yeah, a lot has happened, Abby, since our first conversation. And since last week, we added 2 more languages. So now it's Dutch, English, German, Polish, and Spanish. And Turkish is coming along. A Turkish company bought the rights. So it's a bit of an overwhelming journey, but also lovely. And I mean, as you can see on the right, what makes me extremely happy, and Pam is one of them, is what makes it even more solution focused to me than apart from it being a solution focused game is the co-creation in it. That there's so many people, like the photo on the right is Annette Gray from Sydney. Also, she's been presenting a lot at this conference these days as well. She took it to Antarctica on a trip with 88 women from STEM. So I get so happy, but hearing the stories for people, this is why I want to connect with you again, Abby, to hear what you guys are doing and maybe look at the kids' version. So it just makes me very happy. And what's funny, it links beautifully, Pam, to what you said, because what I keep hearing, and it doesn't really matter if it's 11-year-old boys in the UK or managing teams on the Philippines or women on a ship in Antarctica or people on Play in Business, what you see in the middle, those 55 people playing in the garden. What they all say is that games help for co-creation, like to boost an alliance that very quickly you're in a deep conversation with people you've probably never met, but it seems to be very safe. And it's funny, even with my own clients and patients who know it's my game, they answer a question on a card easier than if I ask it, because somehow the game is asking the question. Suddenly it's a safe environment. And I mean, I work with adolescents. There's normally a lot of I don't know around. And then there's that deep question on the card where while I ask, while I give it to them, I think, oh my God, they're never going to answer it. And woof, off they go with a beautiful description. And in my earlier presentation, I showed a video of a boy in the UK who was interviewed on it. And the funny thing is, he's convinced that there's a lot of laughter and that you can win. There's no winning in the mindsetter. It's, I think, all in his mind, but it's beautiful, like the safety a game gives and how deeply people respond of all ages, of all walks of life, intellectually, but that there's that emotional level. And especially on the big games you see here, like the body part, the movement, the being right there and chatting away makes a difference. Yeah. So that, and yeah, I think this is about it, what I can say about the mindsetter now.
Yeah, yeah. Lovely.
Because we want to give you the time to talk.
Yes. We'd like you to go into a nice extended breakout room to have a good conversation about what you are already doing using play in your context, whatever your contexts are. And so talk about what you're doing already. That's very important. And then also, what one additional playful thing would you like to add to your work? I think in conversations like this, there's a synergy that builds from person to person. It's like, ooh, 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 yeah, yeah, yeah. And it gets the idea spinning and it's, that's the perfect little graphic ideas. And there's that energy that flows between us. And I think ideas are best hatched in co-creation. So we will give you an opportunity to jump into breakout groups, and they will be the same as what you had last time. So you'll be able to enjoy the same conversation. And there you go.
Shall we do 12 minutes, Pam, so that we have 5 minutes to wrap up? Or is that 10 minutes?
Yeah, let's do 12 minutes. That sounds lovely.
Okay.
That sounds just right. I like that. So Joanna, I need to assign you. In 3. Joanna, are you still in the room here?
Yes, Johanna is still there and Kai as well.
What?
Kai is still here and Johanna too.
Okay.
Oh no, Kai has joined his group. So only Johanna.
No, Kaya's has joined her room. But Joanna, I'm having a hard time getting into a room. There we go. There we go.
Yeah, room 2.
I moved you to room 2. Is that okay, Johanna?
Yeah, she's into.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. Yeah, it just wasn't allowing me to.
I'm even
select
curious
them.
to simply join one of the conversations, or should we not? What do you think?
I think that'd be. I don't know if we.
I feel had today I have had both. I had Peter Sabo in my breakout session and it was brilliant. Not
Yeah.
not to really share my own ideas, maybe just to elicit to
Yeah.
we can also leave them to it.
Let's stop recording,
Oh yeah, you're absolutely right.
and then.
Zoom the record.
So we'll do a ready, set, chat here in a moment. Type in what was useful, what idea sparked in your mind during this time together. Okay. Ready, set, chat. And look at that. It's
Making new joyful connections, catching up with familiar faces and sharing, japping and listening to others too, getting my gears turning, brainstorming ways to introduce more playfulness, thinking about gamification of SF questions, how to include games in virtual settings, had a breakthrough about an idea to make work more fun. Wow. I
wow,
actually
that's
want that
wonderful.
one.
That's great. That's wow, that's so wonderful. And the joyful connections, the familiar faces too. And we all met at some point and now we've all met a new set of people if you didn't know everyone here. Ah, that's lovely. Thank you.
Beautiful.
Okay. As Gesa and I have continued our friendship, we've continued to travel together because we seem to want to go to some of the same conferences. So we're going to show you just another picture. We were both speakers at EBTA in Tenerife, Spain it was September, right?
September. Yeah.
Yeah. In addition to the conference, we hiked a volcano and I went to a banana plantation afterwards. And so we roomed together and it was lovely.
And when whale watching, is there any more last
We were
minute?
watching beforehand. Oh, that was amazing.
And I set this up too so that you feel absolutely free to reach out to us, to drop us a line, and Abby, I hope we have a date. I'd love to hear more. I'll send you an email anyway.
Absolutely.
But if there's more questions on any of the things you heard or you want to connect, please feel free. Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah, grab onto that contact information. Happy to have conversations about for me, using improv, games, and solution-focused play therapy with children and adults. Always happy to have a conversation. Yeah.
And Dr. Rashmi, what's your first name? Or is Rashmi your first name?
Oh, Rashmi's my first name.
Oh, Rashmi,
And
I would love to hear your breakthrough if I may be
oh,
using. But we can't do it now, but if you've made it a reality, please share.
well, it was just that I'm mixing two careers at the moment. So I've been a dentist for 30 years, and I've retrained about 15, 16 years ago to be a clinical hypnotherapist, and then became solution focused hypnotherapist during lockdown and a psychotherapist. So I'm blending everything together, and they're all heavy things, really. Well, dentistry is heavy. We've got targets and there. So I realized, I realized a long time ago it's quite stressful. And we always start off the conversation by asking what the complaint is. So why can't we make it more of a joyful conversation from the start. This is what I had the revelation with Abby, so thank Abby, just being in her presence today. You know, it was just about, I mean, it was mirror neurons we have it anyway, isn't it? We don't have the toys and stuff around us necessarily, especially not in dentistry, just the drills. So that causes fear. But so it has to be within us to create that natural sense of playfulness.
Nice.
But it's the language as well. So I feel that rather than, you know, starting up that conversation with a depressing note, anticipating them to come in with pain, we should adopt that attitude of like, we are going to have the solution. We know that we're going to help you. So start off with a smile, maybe, and that it's a small thing. It's a small thing, but
That's a lovely way of, yeah, wrapping it. Like, it's the beautiful connections, and we're free to have those joyful conversations. Amazing. So absolutely happy to have more joyful conversations with you soon. Kat.
oh yeah, oh, I'd love to. Thank you. Yes.
Ooh.
Thank you.
So as this is my link for my next presentation. We have some people coming into the waiting room. I don't know if they're for the next one, or
I guess so.
I would think so. So I won't let them
Thank
do
you
that, but
all.
this was
Thank
so
you.
wonderful. If everyone can
Bye.
turn on their mics and we can just have a cacophony of
Bye.
goodbye and see you later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Could I take a photo? Oh, they're gone.
Yeah,
Can I take a photo?
This is the link for the next one, so I can just stay.
You can just stay.
Oh, right. Okay. Wonderful. Oh, love this. Thank you so much.
Bye. It was lovely meeting you.